I've got with me Ludell Martin and Eddie Lee Smith. We're in Arcadia, Florida at the home of Juanita Owens. Won't you say hello, ladies?
Hello.
Hello.
These are two sisters, the oldest sisters of the Owens family. One of the things that, huh? Go ahead.
Oldest one living.
Oldest living sisters in the Owens family. One of the things that occurred to me several years ago, and it, remember when we had the family reunion in Atlanta, we were sitting at the King Memorial, and you and Theodosia were talking about your father. And I was sitting there thinking, my God, I should have had my video camera at that time. So, and the idea came that we would record the older family members so that we would have it for the young people. And I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to do that. We've already recorded Bobby, and Bill is going to record Ep if I don't get around to it. And I wanted to record the two of you talking about your experiences with the family and talking about the family. Tell me about your mother and father. I noticed when...
Well, my father was a woodyard man, and my mother always took care of the family. She was a very good cook, and every time I come home from school, she had biscuits and those things ready for us to eat, and not a lot of just any kind of meat, but she'd make a meal, regular meals. And I have always been happy. And your mother, it was Smith at that time. My daddy was a woodyard man, and she's going to stop the truck from coming to a tree with her leg.
Can't you forget that?
Daddy, stop it! Stop it! I said, girl, you better move your leg. She's going to break herself. Now, she's going to stop it with her leg. Don't stop it herself with a big truck and a big tree. So we finally got ourselves together. And one time that I was a truck, whenever my father go out to the wood yard and the woods to cut down the trees that has already been cut, and the wood is already out in certain ages, whatever they want. Your wood yard with the firewood or the fresh wood or stove wood. And she's going to let the truck back up. And at this time, the load was loaded, and I jumped on the railroad. And just all I had to do was get on the highway, and I was running behind the highway truck. I was running while I was on the grass. But when they got on the highway, it zoomed down. But I ran behind to get that truck and get over there.
She outran the truck.
I can't be funny.
Now, your father came from Lexington, North Carolina.
Lexington.
How did he end up in Arcadia? Where did he go?
I don't know anything about that because I was born here in Arcadia, and he was from there now, and most of his family.
I know a man used to live here, Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown and Frank Brown, Annie and Iretta Brown.
I know Iretta.
He used to always talk about my dad, and every time he'd see you, he'd tell you the same story. They used to be walking down the railroad, and my dad, like they would probably be gambling or something. But my dad didn't do anything. He would play the guitar, and say and every time he see me, he'd say, "Your dad could make the best old bastard cornbread." I don't know what bastard cornbread was.
She thought that was a name, a person. That was a name for the food.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we've had a lovely life. Go to send us to school and come back home to the wood yard. My father had the wood yard. Moved the wood yard from by the railroad track over here to the hometown at that time.
Okay. Where was the wood yard?
Backyard. Pardon?
Where was the wood yard?
The wood yard back over
Right back
east,
back.
on that end of the corner, end of the railroad, because the railroad track would come that way and could bring wood in for him at
Okay.
that time.
Okay.
And so they
Then
finally moved it and brought it back home to be right here in the yard, and we worked out on the wood yard too, right there.
and he,
Now, the wood yard was in the backyard
In the back,
of the
right
house.
straight in the back.
Okay, I seem to remember that.
Right back. And we worked there. And when we come to school, we got to jump on the truck and go carry it for wood.
I don't remember too much about. I don't remember too much about my mother. I think I was about 6 years old when she passed.
You know,
But-
your mother was right.
But I
She'd
was-
ride with Daddy your dad on the truck to
But-
carry out the wood. Whenever he'd go, she said, and this day that I was working to a white lady house in Miss Treadwell, and I was angry with my father for something, and he put the horn. I would look at him because I was angry with him. But my mother was sitting right there by him. She'd always go with him too on this Woodyard Lord. He's very good about taking care of her, although he's working, but he took care of her too. Very good too.
And I was always the one when they bring her food in. I would stand by the bed and fan or whatever. And
When was this? When she was ill?
yeah.
Yeah, she lived on 26
And,
Watson.
Edith and Pauline, they, when it was time to take out the chamber, they would get lost. So sometimes Mama would tell me, "You tell Edith and Pauline to come in," and so she would call them to the bed and pinch them.
She couldn't because she's ill, but she told
Because,
make you
because
do right.
they always tried to get out of work. So she called them to bed. She couldn't whip them, so she would just pinch them.
Your father being from Lexington, did he ever say anything about his parents?
Not
The brothers
not
and sisters?
Not that I know of.
From Lexington, North Carolina,
Yeah.
but retiring from
No, his parents.
Did he ever say anything about?
No, I didn't know his parents.
What about his brothers? I remember some talk about.
No, we had one brother, Uncle Lindsay, and Carl, his two brothers. They came down here once,
Yeah, they were very good about that. Carl.
and Uncle Lindsay came to his funeral. I remember that.
That was his brother.
And he never went back home.
No,
To
he
Lexington.
never went back home,
Okay.
not to my knowledge. But he traveled a lot.
He traveled because he's a superintendent of the Sunday school, and he always bring me back something from there. And this year I ordered some black and white beads, and this year someone tried to take my beads, but she asked me to bring her black and white beads, so they came to me, and I never forget how beautiful they were. They had little tassels on the bottom.
And every time he went on a trip,
Bring
he
something.
would always bring each one of us something back. So
I told her what I wanted.
He brought me a ring, a beautiful ring, and he told me, "Don't let anybody take that ring off your finger." So we were out in the outhouse and at school because they didn't have no bathrooms in the school.
Outside.
They had to go outside, and one of the girls asked me to let her see it, and I took the ring off and let her see it, and I never saw it anymore.
Yeah, they always do things.
The school here, what is it? The
Smith
same
Brown.
Smith Brown.
Smith Brown's that school that I went to out here. That's the name of that.
Yeah.
And then they finally built another school over here to the other side of Orange Avenue, and that's where I finished high school, over at Smith Brown High School, over there. And then I went to Live Oak for Florida Memorial College. High school, going to college, I went to 12th grade.
What grade? I guess what grade did the school go
12.
to here?
The school
Arcadia.
Eighth grade, it went
you finish here in 8th,
eighth,
and go on over there to from
and
9th grade.
you'd have to go away to school then, because
Yes.
sister and Ludell, you went away.
Mother went to Daytona.
Yeah, I went to. No, sister went to Daytona.
Okay.
Mother went to St. Augustine.
St. Augustine, and I went to Live Oak, and finished up over here.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Mother? How did you all end up in Miami?
I went to. Well, Pauline was in. Pauline was in
St. Augustine.
11th grade,
And you went to 12th grade in school.
and she went. Mother was living in Miami, and so she went there to go to school, and I was in 9th grade, and Pauline and I were so close until I went to Miami when she did, and so I finished school, finished high school in at Miami too, Booker T. Yeah.
Now, what would I guess you're saying she went to the 11th grade? Aunt Pauline went to the 11th grade. Where was she in 11th grade?
She was she went to Miami in 11th and 12th grade,
Okay.
and she evidently she was in 10th grade here.
Okay, but I thought Smith Brown only went to 8th grade.
Must have been 10th.
At that time.
Okay.
But they added 2 years to it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see that. Yeah. Okay.
They added 2 years because I finished 8th grade here.
So
Mm-hmm.
my mother was working, and she was on a job making $10 a week.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money.
And we lived in in a rooming house. We just had a room, and and we stayed all of us stayed in the same room.
Yeah, I married in Miami,
And,
at the courthouse of Miami.
so, mother, she did the best she could by us. We never wanted for anything, and we had nice people to live with because we lived with. When we first went there, we lived with
Yes.
Grace Thompson. Then we moved to Mr. Thompson on first place, and then we moved on 11th Street, and my dad used to come down to see us every now and then.
Your dad came down when you graduated.
And he had Ludell. He always had Ludell to make some kind of potato bread.
Potatoes.
He had Ludell to make this bread, and he brought it down there to us. And so he went to church with us one time, and
He'd go out often to see the girls from here to Miami. And we caught the bus that time. That's the kind that I sent you all some stuff on the bus.
it looked like it would take forever for that bus to come from Arcadia to Miami.
He liked it so well that he wanted all of us to have all of them to know that, that I could. And he said on the bus down there, a whole pan full of potato, all fixed up with marshmallows and things. I fixed it up real nice. I used to be a good little cooker. Like the little boy asked my mama, Andrew, that's a good cooker.
Anytime he got ready to come down here, he'd get Hayward Murray,
Yeah.
or Ralph Smith. He'd have them to drive. Boy, and one time we had to stop to fix a tire, and those mosquitoes like to ate us up.
You must have been in Clewiston or
There's a
South
lot
Bay.
of shrubbery and things that,
Yeah.
that time, there's a lot of shrubbery, palmettos and all that.
Yeah.
And I cried. I was just like a little baby.
Now, Mother was single when you all went down there.
Mother,
Was single. Aunt Addie was single when you all went down there.
Oh yeah.
she married,
Yeah.
got her down that side. And I married Pies. I didn't marry Pies, did I? No, I didn't marry her. He would dance. That's that dancing. Oh, he could dance. He loved to dance with me, so that was my dancing boy. But anything happened, and he's a paper boy. And I hit him on paper, throw the paper in the yard, and he's going back. I know he's coming back. So we had a wonderful time, and Papa came down to see us very often in Miami. And we didn't have trouble. And I finally got married down to Miami, the courthouse, and I married Ozell. And we had 2 children, Ozell Jr. and then I lost a little boy.
I know one time Reverend Pittman came down.
Reverend Sipling.
Pittman, Aunt Alice's
Okay.
husband. He and Reverend Thomas was good friends. So he preached at Reverend Thomas's church, and I was going with Frank. Boy, Frank put on his Sunday suit and came to church that night. And when Papa would come down to visit, that was the only time he would come to church.
No, Frank wasn't much of a church.
No church. So, I told him to say, was in Winter Haven too. But our fiddle sister said Frank was next to her, and said she heard Frank singing. She said, and Frank knew the songs too. I said, he went to church once upon a time.
But the people, us, you have to go to church because we were church people. Sunday school, because my father was Sunday school superintendent. And we, among us, had class.
And he traveled a lot.
And we went to state national conventions, public school. So we were church people. We walk from here to the church. No rides,
You
walk.
went to California or anywhere. But
Now you got to have a car to go everywhere you go, but you can walk right. It was the same distance. We walk Sunday school,
and boy,
Was that Elizabeth Baptist Church up there?
right where in the corner, around the same block up there where it is now. See, the other church was on the corner, right there.
boy, the little boys used to
walk, we
slip
had a
around. Used to slip around. And so I had a boyfriend. You remember Louis Ellison? And so we was coming from Christmas practice one night, and Lord and Papa was walking along, and the boys, they were scared of him, and so Louis Ellison was walking with another girl that was liking him. So I looked over there. Now I was always afraid of a whipping. I didn't get many whippings in my life
She could fall.
because I couldn't see nobody hitting on me. So he was walking over there with this girl. I said, go over there and tell Louis Ellison. I said, come here. I'm gonna get a whipping tonight. So I don't know whether he saw me, whether Papa saw me or not, but I know I didn't get no whipping. I just wanted to let her know that she could not do me.
Now, how was growing up in Arcadia? You said it's a wonderful life. Now, when did you go to Miami, Ludell?
When I came from Miami, someplace, my husband went to the service,
Mm-hmm.
And then I went out to Spokane, Washington. I traveled around quite a bit. But I Spokane, Washington, and from there, Ozell was a little baby then. He's about 7 months old. We went out to Washington. And then I lived out there until he was 2 years old. We came back here, but he was about
Ozell wasn't born during that time.
way back then.
You after you moved here, it was when Ozell was born. Little Ozell was born. Because you all used to live with Miss Gardner. You remember? And
Oh, that was in Miami.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what,
yeah. Yeah, when were you in Miami?
That was in Miami.
Yeah, they married.
I married
they
there in
married
Miami.
in Miami.
At the courthouse.
And how long had you been in Miami?
Before I was born?
Yeah,
30
before you
something.
got married.
But I was I didn't get married early. I read around in my 30s when I got, because I went down to the courthouse and married down there.
Now, Uncle Ozell was from where? Where was he from?
Those are Jonas born right here.
In Arcadia?
Arcadia.
No, you see, Uncle Ozell, he was.
Oh, Uncle Joseph was he was born in Jacksonville. My husband was born in Jacksonville. And I met him. When did he come in contact with? Come in contact with me.
Yeah, he was working on the ship.
And from here, and he traveled.
And
West Palm,
he
go
was
around
in
that.
Miami.
And then finally we married down there. That's where I married. Because after I went to school here in Live Oak and all that, I went on down to Miami. That's where he met me at. So we had a wonderful time, life, because it was another little baby was born to in Miami. But I lost that little boy. And they brought him to the bed and showed him to me. But that was here, after he was born here, after I came from Miami. So Miss Minnie Brown brought him to the bed, just a little cute little thing in a basket. So she carried him out to the cemetery. And that was about 3 then. So we had a lovely life. Lovely life.
Now, your mother had been ill here, and I guess, who was at home at that time when she was here?
I don't know, she was right down the corner. My mother.
During the time that she was ill, mother was there for a while. The sister married, and she lived out in Lincoln Park. But mother was here home for a while. Then she left, and then it was just
Me, just Ludell and Eddie Lee was children. They were apart.
Okay.
So we all got back together though. All
Ludell
went into the service.
was the cook.
Yeah, I was a good. I was a good. Was and she's a good cooker.
Do y'all remember your mother's funeral?
Yeah. Do I remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, they at that time. I think it was the church. It was built on the church, like it was a regular church, and they married her at the Methodist church. This Methodist, on the corner up here, that Methodist church, from that church.
Now that's the only thing I remember about the funeral
Where the funeral
was when we were lining up to go to the funeral.
Okay.
I was 6 years old. Oh, and somebody wanted me to wear a bow. They put a bow on my head, and I snatched it off. That's the only thing I remember about the funeral.
And do you remember where it was? The church.
I think it must have been.
I told you what it was. At that time, they were building up our church. At the time, that whole more people than at this other church. You know, at that time, that's what it was. And we had a large funeral. A lot of people came down.
Yeah, I snatched that bow off my head.
Now, where would she have been buried?
That's why I was a boy, my friend. Huh?
Where would your mother have been buried here?
She would have been here.
Yeah, but where? What's this?
She's out here, and her father.
They got the same. They were the same.
To the hospital.
Grandfather and grandmother.
We were all buried out here.
Is it still? Is it still?
Yeah.
We take the.
You want to go out there?
It would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
I wouldn't
Do
know
that.
what. Hey, I wouldn't know what. I haven't been in this so long. I haven't been in this so long.
City.
I don't know where it's been.
Huh?
I wouldn't know where to find it now.
Now
Because
you know that's a shame.
it's been a long time. But we have to take, whenever Ozark come, he can take me out there. But I would,
No, but
it has been built up different.
they want to go and look, but
I'm not happy.
let me see.
I couldn't carry him right to it because it's different since, since I've been out there.
Okay.
'Cause I sure know it's been a long time since I've been out there.
Now, the family lived in the house on the corner here at 26 Watson.
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay. And these houses were built when?
we had
Since then, I was look.
3 houses, one,
One
two,
here,
three,
one
but the other
And
one was
one for
torn
Pauline.
down.
Okay. And that was on Pauline's house?
Yeah,
It wasn't her house, but
Yeah,
she
she
lived in
lived
it.
in
You know,
it.
all of Papa's.
Yeah.
So at that time, she lived in. And she married Johnny, and Johnny left here and went to.
yeah.
Mama,
One while let's see, Bob and those was living in this house. Sister lived in that house, and Pauline lived in the.
In Corn.
Okay.
And then you lived there.
I lived. I was married. I was in a big house then.
Frank Jr. used to, Frank Jr. used to,
And I moved over there,
We were-
and
we were-
Pauline was in the in-house, and I was there next to the house here. And Frank would come by the house. Hey, Butter! He's big. He's a big guy. He's hot.
and it wouldn't walk for nothing. He would crawl
And he
all the
jumps
way
off. He come right by my house, go out to the big house too.
crawl all the way there.
Hey, Butter!
Then he would.
That's when he started walking though.
Then he would stop by this house. He said, "Hey, Big Bop." Then he'd go on out there.
To the big house.
Some of the children had a rocking chair,
And get up front
and he'd
porch.
get in that rocking chair and
Get
just
behind.
rock. And so one time, little boy came up here. His name was Chester, and he was the same size as Frank, and so Chester was walking. Frank Jr. got up and walked just as good as he's always been walking. Lord,
Yeah, Frank, you came right here.
my Mr. Smith, your granddaddy. Oh, he was crazy about these 2 boys. And Mr. Smith would go out and buy watermelon. He'd buy one for each one of them. Some of them was spoiling. And so he would dress them and take them out. You got Ronald on one side and Frank on the other. And come to find out, the jukeboxes, they weren't so reverent, and so he would he would take the children out. So we find that Mrs. Smith was taking Ronald and Frank Jr. in the bar. So he could let them hear that music. So, and Frank said, I don't want my children in no bar. He had a little juice, you know. And he would do anything. He would come and help me hang up my clothes when I was washing, and he would do anything. So Frank said, Daddy, do anything for you. Say, try to get him to go to the movie. Now that's the one thing he didn't do for me. I ain't going to no movie. And I don't think he saw one till the day he died.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I guess he said he ain't want to see nobody talking, and he can't talk.
Now, Ludell, you say you went to Spokane, Washington. How long did you stay out there?
Both of us in service, and he went overseas for Spokane. Then I came home, came here, came back. Yeah.
How long were you there?
We lived quite a while out there, because I don't know how long we stayed in, but see, he was in service, and he knew he was of age.
Yeah.
And so was I. Was a little older myself. And I came back here to Arcadia to live. Yeah, but then he left there, went to Spokane, and went to a foreign land. And left about that.
Now, what was,
I did. Ozell Jr. was born then.
yeah. What was it like living out there?
Where I live?
Yeah.
Well, in town, I could sleep with him, and we had certain places, but he could come in like that. But see, he could use campus, or he would come into with us. So we had rent rooms like that. And the friends let you stay with them or something like that. It was really something. And so when I got ready to go overseas, then I came back to the state.
How did you come back? What kind of
By
travel?
train.
Mhm.
By train.
How many days? Have any idea? You remember?
I spent overnight, next day, and the next. Who's that?
Neat.
So what?
Help us, Neat.
She said not overnight.
So what?
No, how long did it take you?
I don't remember how long. Because it was overnight though. Two nights. Because I changed the clothes for Ozell. He's a little boy. And some of the white girls come and take him. When we had stops, they'd take him out and hold him so he could see outside. He's about 2, yeah, or 3. About 3. But we had a tricycle. I carried his tricycle out there in the trunk. In the trunk, and he had something to ride out there to ride. We could travel a lot. And when we got in there, he didn't put over on Ozell as much as I thought he should. But he didn't see him. I said, here, your baby right here. And so Ozell, he's about 3. He had his tricycle out there and everything. He grew up out there. But we had a very wonderful life together. And then when he had to go overseas, then I had to come back home. So that's what traveling is.
Edith, Lula knows we're living in Stanford. And Edith finished high school in Stanford. And her senior year, she said she had missed school. Lula was sick, and she was missing so many days that she was afraid she wasn't gonna